Welcome to the Ag Leader 2016 Products Update webinar. Our focus today are going to be on the updates from these three product lines: our flagship InCommand 1200 display, the data management products including AgFiniti and SMS desktop software, as well as the changes we have in our Seed Command product line that will help you next spring and for all of the remaining crop seasons we have coming up. We'll start with the additions that we've made to our InCommand displays in both version 1.5 and 2.0 firmware, just to make sure you're aware of all of the most recent updates. Your InCommand display is your year-round solution for all of your planting, guidance, application, harvest, and tiling needs. Each new version of firmware released aims to more seamlessly integrate the precision farming investment our customers have made with their business and operational needs. Some of the most recent additions to our displays include satellite imagery. In version 1.5, this feature was added. The ability to view satellite imagery on your display not only helps the operators that could be in fields they aren't familiar with, so being able to avoid terraces or waterways and other things you don't see, but can also assist any operator or grower wanting to have more information in the cab without needing any other service, just for better decision-making capabilities while in the field. This is a free online service requiring only an AgFiniti account, internet access, and field boundaries. Satellite imagery is turned on by default as long as you're running version 1.5 or newer of firmware, but you can easily toggle this on and off under the AgFiniti console setup tab. Another feature added in 1.5 was your ability to scale prescriptions directly in the InCommand. So as we prep for spring planting, most of us hope for the best in terms of soil conditions and temperatures and planting windows. This means that as we build our planting and seeding recommendations, we could encounter less than ideal field conditions. We need to be able to easily adapt to those ever-changing variables. Now, you can modify any prescription loaded into your display from the cab of the tractor. No need to switch to manual rate control or revisit your desktop GIS application. Adjust on the go through this new, easy-to-use tool. You get to enter the percentage to scale the recommendation by, as well as the minimum and maximum you want to apply. As soon as you change these values, the stats you see at the bottom will show you how that impacted your original total amount and average rate that will be applied in the field. Adding flexibility during some of the busiest times of your crop growing season. On-the-go adjustment of all of your planting, seeding, spraying, and fertilizing recommendations. Display cast. As farming continues to grow more and more complex, the need for efficiency gets greater and greater. Think of some of the hurdles we face in the spring. We have short planting windows, unpredictable weather, multiple operations happening simultaneously. Those needs led to DisplayCast that was released in version 2.0. DisplayCast enables your InCommand displays to communicate with one another. You can now share coverage maps in AutoSwath, guidance lines, variety tracking maps, yield maps, summary information, and more. Information is no longer housed in only the display that recorded it. No longer are you required to use the AgFiniti file transfer tools or SMS to share data between your multiple InCommand displays. So how does this impact you or your customers' operations? Let's think about our work next spring. If we typically plant most of our crop with one planter, but rain is in the forecast for quite a while and we want to finish up before that hits, we decide to go ahead and add a second planter to help us finish up. So when you pull that second planter into the field, you need to be able to see the AutoSwath maps and guidance lines from the original display. With DisplayCast, that happens right in the field. So this is the original display that's been in the field. You can see that it already has the headlands planted. This is the second display. The second display pulls in and is going to start working on the interior of the field. With DisplayCast, this is now what the operator sees in the second planter tractor. Not only the ground that they have planted, but the headland coverage maps as well. Life just got way easier. Another common problem we face, we want to use the same guidance lines that we have previously recorded, but the display that recorded those isn't here in the field. It's back at home in the shop. If you forget the USB stick that had those guidance lines, historically, you just didn't get to reuse those patterns. With DisplayCast, this problem goes away. The display that originally recorded the lines was connected to DisplayCast, which makes those lines available at any time to any of your other displays, not only for the same operation, but for any operation. That means you get to use your planting lines when you're spraying, use the strip till lines when you plant, all possible without having to remember the right USB stick. In addition to maps and guidance lines, you also get to view summary information from any in command used during spring planting, seeding, or any other field operation. So from any in command display connected to DisplayCast, you get all the information you need to make time critical decisions. This operator can now see the total number of seeds that have been planted with any of their in-command displays and can check to make sure that they're not going to run out of seed before they finish up planting. All of this information is available without disabling logging in the in-command display. Do you want a view of that map of the information? No problem. Tap the View Map button and turn the text summary data into a field map. If you're wondering what you need to use DisplayCast, this is it. First thing you need is an AgFiniti Essentials license. If you've already purchased a license in the past, this new feature is included automatically. The second thing you'll need is that one-time unlock for each of your in-command 1200 and 800 displays that you want to have connected through DisplayCast. And then the third thing that you'll need is a data connection with 3G or better connection speeds. So that means you get to use the same cellular data connection you already have been using for the other AgFiniti features, now with the ability to share your maps, auto swath, guidance lines, summary reports, and all of that between your displays, still giving you the flexibility to choose your cellular provider and data plan that works the best in your area. So with those three things, you are going to gain increased productivity, faster decision making, operational efficiency. So when you think about how much more productive you can be when you seamlessly transfer maps and guidance lines without having to share a USB stick, and you're in those really high urgency time periods, such as maybe you run multiple combines side by side, you can now share your auto swath, guidance lines, and yield maps instantaneously. Maybe you need to share information between two different machines that are working in the same field. A really great example. This means that the tillage operator that's working ground right in front of the planter can now see what areas have already been planted so that when they go to leave the field, they're not running over any of that ground that we've already put the seed in the soil. You're also going to gain faster decision-making skills. So by seamlessly transferring maps between displays, you get to make instant management decisions. You can merge maps from multiple machines in the same field to understand things like how much area you have left, how much more product is going to be needed, what's the overall yield performance that we're looking at. Keeping in mind, you can view previous display maps instantly from your combine seat. So maybe you're harvesting and you pull into an area of the field where the yield bumps way up and you're wanting to see if you can figure out what led to this fantastic yield bump. You could now turn on your nitrogen maps or your fertilizing maps to see if we have a higher input value there for any of those rates. You're also, of course, going to gain operational efficiency. You get to save time because the information is where you need it, when you need it. You don't have to have any sort of desktop software. You don't have to visit all of the different machines and make sure that you get all of the USB sticks. It's all just going to be there for you. There are no known limitations to the number of displays that can be connected to DisplayCast at once. So in addition to all of those features that we've added to the in-command displays, we've also made some exciting changes to AgFiniti. So AgFiniti has always made it easy to keep your data in sync between all of your devices, your displays, your iPads, your desktop computers, your smartphones. We've added even more functionality now to the file transfer, remote support, sharing, and map view tools that you've come to know and expect from AgFiniti. The licensing options are actually going to remain unchanged for all of these new and exciting features. Still the same three that we've had. We still have the AgFiniti Essentials license. The only difference there is that now it's going to include DisplayCast. Remote support is going to remain unchanged, and the area storage and extension license will remain unchanged as well. For our AgFiniti Cloud users, we have 4 exciting changes that are going to allow you to use these services even more efficiently. The first thing you're going to notice, the Fields tab that used to exist across the bottom has now been replaced with the more dynamic menu that our AgFiniti mobile app users are familiar with. It's in the upper left of the screen. This makes your ability to quickly navigate around map view and find the information you're after easier and quicker than ever. The second thing that you're going to notice, you can now turn labels on. So if you're reviewing soil types, fertility maps, or yield zones, you can now turn those labels on, which makes it easier to see exactly what you're working with without the need to keep track of what color represents which rate or which zone we're currently working in. Those of you who primarily use your phone to access your valuable field information will notice a vast improvement in the user interface. It's been optimized for use on your smartphone. So just another way to save you time. You aren't going to have to scroll around the window quite as much now. Do you happen to use other cloud solutions in your operation? We just made it easier for you to easily integrate your data between Ag Leader and your other service providers. We now have the API available, which will allow you to give your trusted precision suppliers the ability to connect their online services to your data in AgFiniti. So data integration just got even more seamless. Being able to use your data in AgFiniti Mobile, which does not require you to be connected to the internet, just got easier. The query tools, similar to what we have in the cloud, have been added to the mobile app as well. Now you don't have to wait until you're connected to the internet or back in front of your computer at home to see how that plot performed at harvest. Think that one of your varieties didn't perform as well as it should have? Easily select areas in your fields and view the details about that area as it compares to the overall field averages. Think of how much easier this can make your decision-making process. Wondering just how many more files the mobile app needs to process before all of your information is available? You can now view how many files are being processed and how many are available for you to download, so you can better anticipate when the sync process will complete. The SMS desktop software wasn't excluded from the updates this month either. Version 17 of SMS builds on the existing features that allow our customers to store all of their precision farming data in one location, and more importantly, perform the analysis on that data to make more informed management decisions in the future. Efficiency is the key to any operation's success. The enhancements to the SMS desktop software can make your decision-making process more efficient than ever. The key editors in the desktop software now have enhanced editor windows, meaning no more multiple button clicks to do things like move the outside edge of your field boundaries and make quicker adjustments to your management zones. Are you a fan of the Microsoft keyboard shortcuts to delete, copy, and add items? You'll be happy to know that these same shortcuts are now going to work for you in the SMS editor windows as well. Do you ever wish that you could see a different reference layer when building your recommendations in SMS? Wouldn't it be handy if when making next spring's planting prescriptions, you could easily view both yield and moisture from the previous year's harvest maps? Maybe you need to see soil types to match those with the best variety. The ability to manage those reference layers directly inside of the SMS editor windows has now been added, making the number of button clicks it takes to make this happen much smaller. For those of us who regularly import generic files such as shape or text files, SMS is now going to remember the template that we last used. So the next time you import your electronic soil sampling results or Veris data, you won't have to manually pick the template to use. SMS will automatically select the one that you used the last time. When it comes to data management, we know that our customers gain the most from using their Ag Leader products as a unit versus each one individually. So we want you to be able to not only record that data with your in-command display, but also use the in-field data sharing using DisplayCast so that all of your displays are synced up. You also get the instant decision-making tools using AgFiniti Mobile. You get the option to share your files with your trusted advisors using AgFiniti Cloud, and then tying that all together, viewing that historical data and doing that advanced analysis using that information inside of the SMS desktop software. Ag Leader's Seed Command products changed a lot in 2016 as well. We announced the SureDrive electric drive as well as our individual row hydraulic downforce this year. Coupled with the new features in the in-command displays and AgFiniti, this should prove to be a very exciting spring for our customers. We understand that if you don't get the seed in the ground properly, you don't have a very good chance of meeting the field's yield potential. So our Seed Command products focus on making sure that happens by focusing on singulation, which leads to more uniform emergence, and also our new turn compensation features. Ag Leader works with institutions across the United States to test the products and outcomes before they ever go live to our customers. The initial results from tests conducted by Iowa State University and multiple cooperators saw a 3% improvement in singulation when changing from a chain drive system to SureDrive electric drives. Previous studies have shown that for every 1% improvement in singulation, producers realize a gain of about 3 bushels per acre. So our cooperators look forward to an estimated 9 bushel per acre increase at harvest time. When compared to down pressure springs, researchers at North Carolina State University saw a 22% improvement in the number of plants emerged on the first day spikes were found when using Ag Leader's new individual row hydraulic downforce. Previous studies show that for each % decrease in uniform emergence, corn yield decreases by 0.2 bushels per acre. That means in this case study, there is the potential to see increased yield of 4.4 bushels per acre. If your fields contain a lot of curves, for example around waterways, terraces, trees, or windmills, then you could realize big benefits from the SureDrive turn compensation feature. Researchers at North Carolina State Research Center saw an estimated 5.1 bushel per acre increase due to turn compensation using an Ag Leader system on just a 4-row planter, and noted that larger planters have the potential to benefit even more from this feature. This is a total of 18.5 bushels per acre based on this field research. Here's an example from a farmer whose operation has lots of curves and contours. You can see from the map when he turns, one side of the planter is not planting enough and the other is planting too much. The turn compensation feature in SureDrive electric drives would correct this, so he would have an even population throughout the curves. With SureDrive electric drives, there is no need to worry about rusty chains, air clutches, or worn out bearings. You get to save time with this maintenance-free solution that improves operational efficiency for years to come. You're also going to gain a window into your planter so that you can be alerted to planter performance issues here and now rather than after emergence. Get row-by-row mapping and all of our advanced seed tube monitoring features so you get real-time updates on population, singulation, skips, doubles, gauge wheel load, and more. With AgFiniti Mobile, you can then take these maps with you when you leave the field and do some quick analysis of your planting operations at the end of the day. Ag Leader's SureDrive electric drives really focused on partnering your growers and allowing you to use your planter and your meter. Some of our competitors require you to switch to their meter in order to use their drive. We give you the opportunity to retrofit your existing planter and existing meter to get a best-in-class planting configuration that improves your productivity. This is a scalable solution. You get to start with just sure drives and add hydraulic downforce later, or you could start with sure drives and just hydraulic downforce monitoring to see whether the hydraulic downforce investment is worthwhile on your operation. So both airbags and hydraulic actuators allow you to adjust downforce as you drive through the field. But our hydraulic system has a nearly instantaneous response time, unlike airbags, which can take up to 20 seconds to respond. That 20 seconds has an even bigger impact when you're planting at high speeds because you're covering more ground. The Ag Leader hydraulic downforce system is centered on the hydraulic actuator, which has a low hydraulic requirement and provides a dampening effect for the row unit. Smoother row unit ride means better singulation and seed spacing. Another very important feature of the actuator is the patented nitrogen accumulator. When a row unit needs to make a rapid upward adjustment due to terrain changes and obstacles, the accumulator allows for this instantaneous movement and absorbs the pressure increase. Without an accumulator, the row unit is not allowed that natural movement and can result in damage. We know that proper seed placement and depth have huge impacts on our yields and our bottom line. By coupling Ag Leader SureDrive electric drives with individual row hydraulic downforce, you can make sure you're getting the seed in the right place every time. Watching your checkbook a little bit more closely with the current ag market climate, Ag Leader's system is expandable to meet all of your needs, from entry level to individual row control. There are 3 different operational modes available to you when using the Ag Leader hydraulic downforce system. Monitor only is an entry-level option you can add to any system, including airbags or springs. This is just a cheaper option using only the system electronics to help customers determine whether the investment in hydraulic downforce is justified for their fields. The operator is still responsible for setting and adjusting their chosen method of downforce. With the full hydraulics installed, you can use either manual or automatic control. Manual control lets the operator manually set and adjust the downforce target value in the display and then choose to also specify a supplemental downforce value to maintain throughout the field. Automatic control allows the system to make real-time adjustments based on the gauge wheel load. The system controls downforce based on 2 requirements. Desired depth must always be achieved, and seed trench compaction must be reduced. Ready to learn more about any of these new solutions and how they might work in your operation? Visit agleader.com to see all of the research that we've done and new features we've packed into our new product lineup. Follow our YouTube tutorials channel to stay up to date with the newest how-to videos. And of course, use that knowledgeable Ag Leader dealer in your area to figure out what will work best for your operation. And as always, our customer support staff in Ames would be happy to answer any questions you have.